So the question is, do I build a team that goes with my gut, which is something I think could be good, or do I build a team that respects the meta? Because realistically, the things that I think are good don't respect a lot of what the meta has to offer. Like realistically, like Flutter Mane's everywhere, bundles getting more popular, Chi-Yus, Shempao, Dragonite, Tinglu, all those other things are really good. The things that like I think are good take into account that like I will get good matchups. So it's like, I don't know, there's just sometimes you have a feeling. I got a feeling. And I just there's some things that I think are really good. And it's going to be so weird, right? It's going to be so weird. If we take a look at all the teams that I've made for regionals this season, I mean, I could show you them right now. The first team I built for regionals, I'll show you guys my San Jose regional team. No, sorry, not San Jose. San Diego. This was a team I made for San Diego. I didn't end up going to San Diego. Right? But I built it. I was planning on going to San Diego. I just couldn't get into the tournament, remember? And I gave it to one of my patrons, and they got top 8 in juniors with it. And it was this. It was a pledge team based around, like, Vivillon, Corviknight, Pikachu, Mascot. It was a weird team, but, like, this was a Series 1 team. Like, that's how Series 1 worked. You built a Series 1 team for Series 1. All right, let me just move this down just a little bit. Right? If we take a look at the next team that I made, that team used... This is a team I made with one of my Patreons for Orlando. And that's like down here somewhere. It's this. It was mostly their idea. I just provided a lot of like fine tuning to this. But again, you're starting to see a pattern. There's a card jump in it, right? There's another Series 1 team. Right? And then we go into Series 2, and let's see. The team that I built for Series 2 regionals, I can't type. Let's see if I can find it. There's a mouse team that Braden even used at another event. Lilycole. Mouse Ape Lilycole, right? There's this team right here. So I used this at a regional. The Knoxville team. And so we're into Series 2 and I'm still using a Series 1 team. And then we go to... I built a couple other teams for a couple of my Patreons. One of them gets like top cut in a couple of other tournaments. One of them got top cut OCIC. One of them top cut EUIC with teams I helped them make. And then what other regional was there? Charlotte, that used... I never search it. And so Charlotte, I made a team that I thought was fun, but also was like, I think, meta enough. But you're still seeing like, it's a Series 2 team, but it's basically taking a Series 1 idea. Nah, I think the pledges are fun. Pledges are cool. Water Goldango. I think Goldango is actually... So, like, if you actually were to take a look back, we're trying to give, like, my little history here. I've actually been... And I'm sure you guys have noticed, and you're sick of it. I've been using Goldango on, like, every team right now. Look at these past... Like, these are ideas of what's in my team builder right now. I think Goldango is really, really good right now. But... And then Mirko Goldango is a Series 1 core. So... It's so weird that, like, we're in Regulation C... And I'm like, yo, dude, that team that came out on the day 1 the game came out, that's pretty sick, Like, why is that my life? The same freaking thing happened in Sword and Shield. The same thing always happens. I find things that I like, and I feel like the meta and having to be a content creator forces me to have to change up and use what's new and fresh and adapt. When in reality, bro, I'm actually like totally fine. What is it? We used that team the other day. That was straight up my day 1 Gardevoir team. And it like slapped and won like every single game, right? This is a day 1 team. 252 squatted up, like, and it's just good. There's no reason to change it, right? So I was thinking, like, realistically, if I wanted to build a team that could be good, I could use, like, yo, dude, we got a sub gift. Yo, thank you so much for the gift. What do you think? Since you just gifted a sub, which one do you want to see, Jordan? Do you want to see? Because I haven't told you guys what my gut says yet. I haven't shown you guys the gut idea yet. I'm running hard TR now. I think hard TR is actually very good. But yeah, what do you want to see? Do you want to see the gut or the meta? Because, like, I could build a meta squad around, like, Palafin and things that beat Palafin, but, like, I really, if I'm going to be playing, like, a 10-round tournament, I don't see me wanting to play meta for 10 rounds. I will stop at the lunch break. Gut for sure. Okay, so we got to go into, like, what my gut says is good, right? And what my gut says is good. Did you guys see the picture I posted on Twitter the other day? Did you guys see the picture I posted on Twitter? I'll bring it up. It's relevant, I promise. Hold on. Let me go find this picture. I posted this on Twitter. All right, there we go. Okay. I posted this picture on Twitter the other day. And I used the taglines like, help, all of my regional plushie mascots are weak to Fluttermane, send help. Bro, they're all weak to Fluttermane. I'm like, okay, cool. All right, the way I like to build for teams at events that makes it more fun is like you pick a mascot, right? And you build the team around that, you know? So like if I want to feature any of these Pokemon, like they're used as a pivotal part of my team building strategy because I can use that Pokemon to like bait my opponents into over-respecting certain lead objects because like through the use of like nicknames and how they're on the board and like they're actually like on the table, I can get them to over-respect certain things. Yo, Braden gifting a sub to Diamond Dude. What do you think? You want to see the gut ideas, or do you want to see the? Do you want me to play meta? Let me know, because we're trying to. I want to get everyone's like actual opinion, right? Yeah, this is a huge strategy. Like back in the day, I used to use a back when it was closed team sheet. I would use like the Sableye plushie and get people to like really over tunnel the Sableye. And then, like, I would go, like, Mega Guard. And then, like, the next event, I'd have, like, a Gardevoir plushie. And I just, like, top cut an event or, like, won, like, a huge event, like, the day before. Yo, Chief BC gifting a sub as well. What do you guys want to see? You guys want to see the gut ideas or do you want to see the meta ideas? You got to let me know. As corny as it sounds, I want you to play what you want to make you the happiest. Go with the gut. Yo, both you guys going for the gut. Yo, I will do my absolute best. But, yeah, the next event, I would use like a Gardevoir plushie or something like that. And I just got done like top cutting or like winning an event that was like streamed. And then I would use like a Mega Sableye, right? So you use the plushies as redirection. We actually hit the sub goal. You guys are way too amazing. Triple Y, my guy. What do you want to see? How about what I sent in Patreon chat on Discord? SpDef boosting Roaring Moon. I actually I used SpDef boosting Roaring Moon for like 2 months already. And it's also weak to Fluttermane. Hat Bronzong. I'll take a look at it real quick. See, that's too hard TR. I think the Bomb Stones. The thing about a team like that is I don't see like weakness policy working in like a open team sheet, in my opinion. I think Bandit Tinglu's fun though. That's a cool team. I think that's a great team for ladder, but I don't think that team holds up at a regional. Have I ever been to Portland? So, yeah, I have. The biggest crushing moment of my life, thank you guys for all the subs, I'll tell this quick little story, happened in Portland. I used to love going to regionals. It used to be so much fun. And around 2015, I went to like, 2014 to 2017, I went to like probably 10 regionals where I would do top 32 or better, getting top 8s, getting top 16s, and just having an absolutely amazing time. And then I went to Portland, and I was 5-0, and I was set to make top cut. I was playing on stream, like I was doing everything right. I just got done 2-0ing Aaron Cybertron Zhang. Sorry, I think it was 2-0. It might have been 2-1. I think it was 2-0. And I just beat former world champion in the round before that, Cams, and I was feeling it. And my team it was so cheesy, and it was so freaking good. And then my round 2 opponent that I played did this thing where like he went and told all my opponents what my team was, even though he didn't like know them. Like he would see that I played against this person because standings were like public for everyone, and he's like, oh, here's this guy's team, here's all the notes on it, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do this. And I didn't know that was happening until after the tournament. And basically when you're trying to use a cheese team and that happens to you, you lose. And you lose in a way that like you've never lost before when they have that information that they shouldn't. And that like low-key broke my whole understanding of how Pokemon worked, and like it really messed me up, and I'm still actually probably messed up. Like if there was a reason to need therapy, that's definitely, I have nightmares about it all the time. So like if I've been to Portland, yeah, I've been to Portland. That's one other reason why like I wasn't really planning on playing, but yeah, I'm gonna play this time. But yeah, so that fucked me up a lot. And it's my redemption. Yeah, no, you can say whatever you want. There's no filter on Twitch. But yeah, like so, and like I didn't know my last round opponent said, "Hey man, you know, you would have got me. XYZ person told me your team before the round," and I was like, "Fuck my life." That team had double fling, the King's Rock, and the other item that you would fling to flinch. So it's like if you know that shit, like. And you know the Pelipper doesn't have Sash, and you know this has no Protect, you know, like, there's no way to win. There's no way to win. They punish shit there's, like, no way they could know about. And every time I tell that story, there's always someone that's like, "That's what you get for not playing the game the right way. You were trying to cheese." And it's like, I don't know, man. That's what the game was back then, you know? Yeah. Anyways, so, enough of that story. Story always puts me in a bad mood. Thank you guys for the subs. I appreciate it. And it sounds like all you guys want to see my gut ideas. So my gut ideas were actually trending more towards like Mouse Ape, Murkrow, Goldango. But then I thought about it and I was like, this is probably good enough to like go positive. Probably like if it's a 10, I'm assuming it's like a 10 round tournament. Maybe like a 9. So like that'd be like a 5-4 or a 6-3 if I'm really lucky. Probably like a 6-4 and a 10 round. If I were to play something like this. And I don't even want to play Gyarados. Gyarados seems really boring, but it's probably the right mon for this team. And I thought to myself, what is the one Pokemon that I really want to use? And I realistically thought about it. I looked at that picture that I posted, and I was like, the one Pokemon I really want to use is Garchomp. Because I got that Garchomp plushie. I love Garchomp. And I thought, like, well, what do you use Garchomp with? Use Garchomp with, like, Tyranitar. Use it with Lycanroc. Use it with so many things. But I don't think that I want, like... So when you start filling it out like this, you start to realize, like, you can't Earthquake next to these guys unless you want to go Flying Tera, and I don't think that you need to play... I don't like Flying Tera T-Tar. I don't think it's good. You lose your Sandstorm... You take damage from your Sandstorm. It's not... And I don't think it's good. I also think that, like, if I have, like, Flying Tera T-Tar, right? If I have Flying Tera T-Tar, this is just my opinion, and I want to swap out that T-Tar for like an Amoonguss here, which you're basically forced to run Amoonguss on this core. And they have like a Shempow, right? My options are, because it's vested so it can't protect, right? I would have to swap to Amoonguss to block the Sacred Sword. But if they see that I have Flying Tera and that I could potentially switch to Amoonguss, they're just going to throw an Ice Spinner into that T-Tar. And I can't just leave it in there to eat the potential Sacred Sword. So that's a lose-lose situation. So like, that's not good. I don't like Flying Tera T-Tar. We'll talk about that in a sec. All my instincts about what is both fun and competitively good are based around previous gens, but a bunch of my favorite tools from previous gens are all gone, or what made them good is gone. Yes, that's also true for me. All the things I like, all my friends are dead. So yeah, this is why like I don't usually play T-Tar with like Flying Tera. If you ever look at any of my videos, I don't think I've ever really used a Flying Tera T-Tar, because I don't think it's good. I think that like, yeah, you avoid your weakness to like ground and grass, but like there are other Teras that do that. So... yeah, this core is cool, but then, like, what? I just throw the Murkrow Goldango here? It's too clunky. Remember how we used that team the other day that was, like, Specs, Rotom, Garchomp with, like, sand? It was so clunky. It was just so clunky. Doesn't Flying Tera T-Tar... Sorry, Flying Tera make T-Tar pretty invincible. Tell me why... Alright, so everyone does this, but no one understands what it does. Does it make you invincible? It makes you not hit with flying and ground moves. Bro, they could just ice attack you. There's so many ice mons. They hit you neutral for fairy. They hit you neutral for like everything. You take rocks damage down and you take your own sandstorm damage. It's terrible. It's the biggest 50-50, right? But then you're also sharing weaknesses with the things you need to swap to alleviate your pressure. So in an open team shield like this, it just won't fly. It works, right? should say it doesn't fly. It works. Yeah, that's the thing, especially when it's AV'd, right? When the T-Tar's AV'd, it can't protect. You know it has to switch. And so, like, what people do is they just double into it, and because your team is, like, sweepers and you have the one defensive pivot, which is incredibly obvious, it doesn't hold up, right? So we need to change things if we're going to do that. So, like, realistically, that's where something like Steel comes in as a really different way to play T-Tar. You're like, but you still take ground and fighting. It's like, okay, right? But if I still take ground and fighting, that means you will be using those ground and fighting moves against me because you see that that's my only defensive option. And when you use the ground attack, you go to the Murkrow. When you use the Steel, when you use the fighting attack, you obviously go to the Amoonguss or the Goldango. And it forces your opponent into over-respecting what is present, right? Right? And so, yeah, if they were to double into it with, like, and even in this one, the Thunderbolt T-Tar in that slot, well, then at least my teammate gets to do something, right? But yeah, we're not running this team. I just wanted to show you guys, like, where I was looking. Thought you put flying down so much you don't get hit by your own EQ, but that's the thing is, like, that's an offensive Tera on a defensive Mon that doesn't have enough board stake. So it's like, okay, let's say I were to lead Garchomp and Tyranitar, right? And that is why it's flying a lot of the time, right? So you go flying, it's like, ha, I can click Earthquake and Rock Slide. And it's like, you know how they beat that? They lead Arcanine, bro. What the fuck do you do? You know, like, it's just a loss. It's just a loss. It's a loss. So, we're not using that team. But that was kind of a mixture of where my head was going. And I really thought about it. And I was like, I thought about a lot of my regional, like, top cuts over the years. And I thought, like, what made my teams good? And a lot of my regional successes had to use with Garchomp, because I think Garchomp's, like, the best Pokemon. And they had to do with, like, Choice Scarf, Rotom, Heat. So Rotom here. So I was like, why don't I use Rotom? First of all, Rotom Heat's, even if I were to Scarf it, its speed stat can't, it can't hold up in this meta with the way it's looking right now. My favorite team I've ever built was initially built around Nature Power Weather Ball Venusaur. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's cool. That's a cool one. Straw streamers say it was the best lead in the game, and I just didn't see it. Yeah, I'm not a fan of, like, the turn 1 Tera defensively so you don't die. I think there's definitely other ways to deal with it. Definitely there's other ways to deal with it. But anyways, this is a core that I've used to basically, I've gotten multiple amount of Worlds invites if you were combined seasons together of just this lead, you know? Yeah, turn 1 Tera puts you at a disadvantage for the rest of the game. Yes, you want to hold on to that as long as possible. So I was thinking about it, I'll use Rotom. Rotom, even if you Scarf it, it doesn't hold up in the meta. And, like, again, Scarf is, like, the worst item in an open team sheet format. The reason I made that Psychozar team was because I wanted to find one Mon that could legit use a Choice Scarf in this format. And, like, it's hard. It's really hard because a lot of people just play defense for the first turn, and then they see what you walk into, and then you lose. So, that brings us to where we are now. What do I want to use at this event? What I did was I looked at the Pokemon Home usage stats. Let's pull up Pikalytics because I don't have Pokemon Home usage stats on my... I don't have them saved here, but Pikalytics is coming up. And you can see the popular Pokemon here. It's going to be things like Fluttermane. Chiyu's not this popular. These are skewed. But you can see what's popular. Fluttermane, Dragonite Shenpao is huge. Bundles, Palafins, Woshiens, Gyarados. You know, it's the popular Pokemon. So, what do we want to do to beat that? Well, I still think that Tyranitar is good. Tyranitar is the Pokemon that helps... How's it going, man? Is the VGC in Portland, Oregon? Yes. So, I think that Tyranitar is the Pokemon that will give us the biggest % chance to play that playstyle that lets me be a bully. Right? What's Clear Amulet is what I've been running. We're gonna use a Clear Amulet probably. I think Tyranitar is very, very good. I think Tyranitar is super good. And yeah, I think the Tyranitar is like a good option. Right? I think if you're gonna play Tyranitar, you should probably use Lycanroc as well. Now, I think the deviance in what we're gonna be doing is going to stem from using different Tera types and different moves and different EV spreads to be able to use these Pokemon in different ways. But T-Tar gets rocked by a lot of stuff without AV. Okay, but like what? What though? Like, I'm not trying to like put you on the spot, but like what beats Tyranitar if you don't have AV? Because that's the job of the other Pokemon on the team. That's the job of our Tera. That's the job of our item to be able to cover up for those things. Tera Grass Dozo. Okay. Tera Grass Dozo might be something, but like where would you see that? There's not really any Dozos. Isn't fighting types rampant in the meta? Like, are they though? That's the thing, is like, are they? Everyone uses Flutter Mane, guys. Houndstone current place. There was an idea about this team that looked a little bit different that actually had a Houndstone here too. There was a version of this team that looked something like this. Garchomp, Orthworm, Amoonguss, and Houndstone. And it was like a super sand team. Iron Hands is not everywhere. All right, so again, like, I don't want to be that guy. Again, and you guys can totally ask questions. Like, that's the whole point of doing these team building sessions live. But the situations that come up at regionals in a best of 3 open team sheet where, I'm not going to lie, like, I know this makes me sound like a dick, but like, I'm actually someone that like, I build my teams to like function at like 3-0, 4-0, 5-0 in like the undefeated top of the tables. And even in this season, I've been 3-0, 4-0 three times out of the 3 regionals I've gone to. So it's like, you know what I mean? And the teams, I've built teams that have gotten to day 2 EUIC. I've built teams that have gotten to OCIC. I've built teams that top cut Orlando, or not top cut, but like almost day 2 to Orlando regionals, day 2 to San Diego regionals and lower divisions. Like, so the teams I built are made to deal with the teams of other players that are doing really, really well at the event. So so the question, going back to this, like, everyone's like, isn't Hands everywhere? But like is it everywhere? Because like, I feel like Hands is a mon that you see some people use, but like, it's almost non-existent once you get to the very tip of the top. Arcanine Palafin, so you're talking about balance. Yeah, balance is problematic, but you can change your items and your Tera types to be able to better deal with balance. And the thing about Palafin is Palafin's always going to be a bad matchup for something like this, but that's where like an Amoonguss would take a very heavy burden versus the Palafin and run like a Rocky Helmet set. So like, if you know that you have a big weakness to Palafin, you can skew a couple things, and then like you can make itself at worst a situation where Palafin can totally KO something. But if you have 2 threats for Palafin and you make your danger levels correct, you can trade one of your Pokemon for the Palafin every single time and make it a worst case scenario 1-for-1. I think Tatsu Dozo Revival Blessing's cool. I still might use that. I have that team in game. I could always bust it out. I think it's a cool team. The Tatsu Dozo bundle Murkrow Goldango thing, that was fun. So let's get back to what we're talking about here. So this was I thought about maybe using something like this, because this team technically has like enough stuff to do well. But we know we want to run Tyranitar, Lycanroc. And technically, you know, the team had no Paradox Mons, no Ruin Mons. That was technically a Series 1 team. And so I thought to myself, like, what cores are... This is something you should always ask yourself this whenever you're building a team for a tournament. What do you not like to play against? And not only what do you not like to play against, what about not playing against that do you not like? So I wrote down a bunch of stuff I didn't like playing against. Hippowdon's not that good of a sand setter because it doesn't get the boost to the Spadef on its it's 1 Intimidate, and Hippowdon's useless. But yeah, you always want to ask yourself, why don't I like fighting that? What about that makes me feel uneasy? Is it really oppressive? Is it take away my control of the game? Is it that in conjunction with another thing I don't like fighting that makes it a problem? So I wrote down all the things I didn't like fighting, and what I realized was I could run all of the things that I don't like fighting, and the reason why I don't like fighting them is because when they're paired with other things that I don't like fighting, I don't like fighting all of them at once. So if I were to combine multiple different cores of things that I don't like fighting that do have good synergy together, I could theoretically come up with a situation where I could be a very fluid jack of all trades, master of none, but then I can use my understanding of like different Tera types and changing items and having like my own unique take on a lot of the different cores to change how they're viewed in a best of 3 open team sheet format. So we're just gonna do this easy. Why does nobody like fighting? Transform my prison Smirgle. Yo. All right. Big ads. Yo, sucks. I apologize. I'll wait. I'll take a sip of my coffee. Stupid ads, dude. I don't play them. Twitch is super serious about it, but I don't do it. So, back to what we were talking about. Realistically. Prime sub. There you go. T-Tar Sand and Corviknight Haze because I hate going up against sweepers. Corviknight's really good. Anyways, the reason why we're not running something like Corviknight though, or like Amoonguss, or like Arcanine, or Gyarados, or Dragonite, I feel like those Pokemon are very, very reactive. They're very reactive. So like if I want to be the guy that says like, dude, I'm going to take Arcanine, or I'm going to take Gyarados, or Dragonite, or any of those things, I'm showing up at the regional and saying like, hey, can I please set Tailwind? And they're like, no, double Rock Slide flinch and I lose. Or like, no, you're frozen by Freeze Dry. Or no, you got crit. It's asking for permission to set control versus like, I'd rather just have it and have you react to what I'm doing. Since the meta presumably takes minor shifts throughout a season, how do you adjust team building on an event by event basis? You should be using a different team like every single time. But realistically, you can still keep the same mons. That's the thing, is like a lot of people think you need 6 new mons. You can totally like tweak your ideas, and sometimes all it takes is like tweaking your Tera. But yeah, you just want to change your team up every single time, I would say. Let's get the 6 mons that we're gonna use on paper. I think T-Tar and Lycanroc are really good. I think they're very, very good. I think they set the stage to where even if you lose both of these Pokemon, you are at worst, if you lead T-Tar, Lycanroc, and are playing the game correctly, you're getting into a situation where that's a 2-for-1 trade. You could, at your worst, trade these 2 Pokemon for one thing that you really don't want to deal with. And so what I would like to use these 2 for if I ever leave with them is I can use them to break away the one Mon that I really don't want to deal with the thing I have in the back. That's the idea. Preferably being like a Flutter. So it's going to be a Sand team. It's going to use Sand. It's going to use these guys. And I think T-Tar and Lycanroc are good. They break the multi-scale. They break sashes. They speed up the game a little bit. They throw off opponents' calcs by a little bit. And I just think they're generally very good. And I feel like there's ways that they break the meta that no one is looking at right now. There's one thing in particular that Lycanroc has that no one's looking at that makes it really, really good in the meta, in my opinion. So, the rest of the Pokemon are boring as shit. Final Gambit, no. Sand Teams is cool, yeah. The next 2 mons are going to be Indeedee and Armarouge. Now you may be thinking like, that's weird, this is like a step back. You said you wanted to be proactive, not reactive. I feel like realistically, like Indeedee, Armarouge are very underrated. Kind of like how Viking was talking about how like Trick Room's really good right now. There's a lot of cores in the meta that don't have that great of an Indeedee Armarouge matchup. I'm going to show you guys something from Twitter. This is something from Victory Road, and it shows like the top 16 teams in actually I won't show that because I don't want to pull it up. But basically, like balanced teams don't have a great matchup. You don't use Endeavor. Endeavor is like such a loss. Balanced teams don't have a good matchup versus Indeedee Armarouge, and like Indeedee Armarouge is a pretty safe matchup into a lot of things. So remember, like I talked about, if I can use T-Tar Lycanroc to blow out the one Mon that I don't want to deal with, like the Dark type on their team, well, you come with the Indeedee Armarouge, you go Redirection, Trick Room, Expandees, and now that 1-for-2 that you took earlier is equalized, and then you still have like 3 to 4 turns of Trick Room, and you just do it again, right? And also, what is Tyranitar weak against? Fighting? Go into your freaking Psychic squad over here. What are you weak against? Fairy? Go into your Fire type. They cover each other very well. And also, like, low-key, Indeedee is a great Palafin check because it makes it have to use Wave Crash. And if you just get up Speed Control like by using things like Lycanroc or getting up Trick Room with something like Armorage or even like a Grass Tear over there, you have a great Palafin matchup in the back. So it's great against like backs. It's great against like, I know there's all the Dark Ruin Mons and it's like don't use into the Armorage, but like it's still really good. I promise you. I think Flash Fire is still better. Weak Armor, I used Weak Armor at a regional and it's hard. People like low-key accident. It makes it so you can't switch into Armorage and go for a TR play, so you still have to go Flash Fire. But like I did use Weak Armor Armorage at a regional and it won me games because it was Weak Armor. But yeah, I think that like these all go very well together. Told you, that's a good team. Yeah, see, like it's exactly what you need to be playing, right? So, the last 2 months. Remember I talked a little bit about like looking up cores that I don't like fighting against and saying what makes them hard to deal with is the fact that you have to dedicate a lot of resources to deal with the T-Tar Lycanroc. You have to dedicate a lot of resources to beat an Entity Armorage. You also have to dedicate the most amount of resources to beat Dozo Tatsu. Now, a lot of people are like, Dozo Tatsu, I sleep. And to some extent, you're not wrong. But remember, like, this team needs to just do very, very specific things. And the things that beat all three of these leads are complicated. Am I going to go full speed Armorage? No, it's going to be a Trick Room Armorage. Because there's no speed control here, right? Other than Trick Room, right? So I feel like these go very well together. Isn't it better to make teams of Pokemon by Pokemon instead of by duo? Well, isn't duos just like clusters of Pokemon? Right? So what you're seeing is like, okay, I understand how this works, and then I understand how this works, and I understand how this works. But see, what I'm looking at is I understand how Dozo T-Tar works. Tatsu, I understand how all of them work in conjunction with all of them. See, because what you're thinking is like, you're looking at the T-Tar Lycanroc or the Entity Armorage. I'm looking at the Lycanroc Tatsu lead and making them be like, you what, mate? Where are we going? Where are we driving? You know, I'm looking at the Lycanroc Armorage being like, okay, what are you going to do about it? You know, like there's so many little mix-ups that change how the team and the formats get played. So let's put these back where they go. And again, this is a Series 1 team. This is a Series 1 team. It has physical attackers. It has special attackers. It has good offensive typing. It has good defensive typing. Is it the best team ever? Probably not. Yeah. Weakness policy or life orb Armorage? Don't know yet. This is about as far as I got. I have items loosely planned out and Tera's loosely planned out. But I think this is a cool looking team so far. Yeah, see no Paradox or Ruinmon. Series 1 and done, you know? So this is where we're going to see how I would build a team, because again, I haven't really done that much building for it yet, but I have a couple more ideas. So what I like to do is get my moves out of the way first. What moves do I know that I want to run? I want to run Protect on my Tyranitar. Everyone uses Vested T-Tar. Don't like Vested T-Tar, especially in an open team sheet best of 3. They can see, like, T-Tar has so much Spadef. And not Tera, the Sandstorm boost. Like, I don't need a Vest on this thing to tell people I could swap it in to block their fire attack, right? I want Protect. I think that's the move that's really good in, like, you know, open team sheet events. You need Protect. So Protect on T-Tar is really good because people don't want to get the T-Tar off the board because T-Tar is the thing that checks 90% of stuff in the late game. T-Tar is, like, absolutely cracked. What a lot of people are used to in these matchups, you can see T-Tar and King Gambit is very similar mons. Your flowcharts go, okay, get rid of the things that don't have Protect, and then we win the game. But when they have Protect, you don't have that option. Right? It makes it so they have to find a different way to win. Figure out what you do, expect, and then he brings none of those combos you expected, and now you're shot. Yep, that's kind of how this would work. Matchup roulette, extreme. All right, I want Protect on my Tyranitar. What other moves? Do I want to go physical or special T-Tar? That's actually really a really good question. I think we're still going to go physical because I want Rock Slide. So we know that we're going to use these two moves, and like realistically, we can just go on to the next mon because we don't know what else we want to add. And you don't have to fill up mon by mon. We're going to add Protect here. Does this guy get Detect? I'm just curious. I don't think it does. All right, because Detect would be better in case of prison, but go Protect. And what else do we want? What else do we want here? I'm going to put Howl here, but it can change. And then we're going to go on to something else. feel like I'm watching a TED Talk whenever I do these. T-Wave, T-Tar, Darkseid, Delwa. That's good on ladder and not good in open team sheet. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, we don't even mess with our abilities yet. You don't mess with our abilities yet. Don't have to do it yet. What do we want on these? We know that we want Follow Me. We know that we're going to want Trick Room. Normally, I would say that you want... actually, you want Follow Me on top in case you get auto-selected. And you don't want to Trick Room your own Trick Room. Right? Normally, you'd want Protect on these things, but I feel like for this team, we're not going to have room for that. And we'll talk about why in just a moment. Don't you run the risk of giving up too much info to your opponents by doing this stream? It's open team sheet. They can see it. You have to give them your sheet. That's the thing, is like, I don't think you risk anything. Alright. Armourouge. We're going to want Trick Room. We're going to want Expanding Force. I know a lot of people like Armor Cannon here. I don't. I like Heat Wave. And we're going to leave the slot spot blank for now, but there's two options that could go there. You could put Protect there if you want. You could put Wide Guard there if you want. I guess you could also put things like Aura Sphere or Energy Ball. We'll leave it blank. No reason to fill it in. There's no reason. Dondozo. We're going to want Wave Crash. We're going to want Earthquake. We're going to leave the rest blank for now. Tatsu. Tatsu is weird, because we don't know what item we're going to run on Tatsu either. I'm going to put Draco here. I like Draco on Tatsu. I like Muddy Water on Tatsu. Should we Scarf this Tatsu? Hard to say. Is Houndstone better than Lycanroc? It's better for support and outspeeds a lot of things. It actually doesn't outspeed a lot of things. That's a great question, though. So if we were to plug in a Houndstone, and make it level 50, and give it like a +2 speed boost with a full speed investment, and let's even make it Jolly. First of all, it's weaker than Lycanroc, I would believe. Lycanroc has a 115 base, so it is weaker than Lycanroc. And make it Jolly. It gets a 264 max speed, which still underspeeds that boy Bundle. Right, so being slower than a Bundle means you can be Icy Winded to be even slower. Right, so like you can't be having that, right? So yeah, Houndstone's cool, and it's my favorite new Pokemon from this gen. But you know, if we were to plug back in this Lycanroc, you need the speed that Lycanroc brings to the table, being a 112 Speedmon. And like we haven't even gone nature yet. Right? So it's really good. Really, really good. So we have the Mons. I don't know if we want to go Scarf Tatsu. I was thinking Goggles Tatsu. I also like Life Orb Tatsu. But Scarf Tatsu's probably better here for being able to repin Arcanine. So that's my idea. You say you'd be afraid of all the dark types? So that's how this team works, is it's going to use probably one of the cores, either the T-Tar core or the Dozo core, to blow out the dark type, and then we pin with Armourouge. And also, like, Armourouge can get things like, I mean, we can get fighting moves on T-Tar, Lycanroc, we can get fighting moves on Armourouge. You can do so many different things. I think Houndstone's actually very good. Houndstone was in the original version of this team that I showed earlier. It's hard getting to Master Rank sometimes, I feel it. Super anxious for Port 1. Don't be. It's going to be fun. So, these are the 6 Mons. We got some of the moves. Let's go and let's make some of our abilities correct. So, we know we're going to want to run Commander. We're going to want to run Unaware probably. I say probably, because we could low-key run, like, Oblivious. We could. There's nothing, like, wrong with Oblivious, I don't think. I really don't think there's anything wrong with Oblivious. Because, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I was going to run Clear Amulet. So we're going to leave it on Unaware for now, but Oblivious is good. Like, Clear Amulet Dozo is actually pretty cracked. Let's go to Armourouge. We're going to run a Life Orb here. We're going to try a Citrus here. What do you mean Lycanroc loses to a lot of stuff in this meta? Also, Hello Water types and Fighting types and Steel types. How do those hit Lycanroc again? Just tell me. How do they hit it? What do they hit it with? all those things that hit Lycanroc. What do they have to? So that's a good. Hey, I'm not trying to be an asshole. What do those mons have to do to hit Lycanroc? And Lycanroc gets to go first. So when we're using Lycanroc, and we're going to be going first, because they can't go first, and you're like, what about Jet Punch? It's like, well, that's why I have an Indy here, right? So it's like they have to use not priority moves, and they can't go first. They have to outspeed, which they will not. That is correct. And so what move do they have to go through in that situation? That Trick Room's cool, but like, what move do they have to go through? They have to go through Rock Slide, right? So yeah, so we get 2 shots to get 1 flinch, and while they're doing that, they're tunneling into the Lycanroc. You're talking about all these things to beat Lycanroc. So this is not saying that, like, Lycanroc's busted and Lycanroc's breaking the game and Lycanroc's all this. What it's saying is that by using Lycanroc and having that illusion of speed control, we are the ones dictating play, which is the most important thing. You said Jet Punch loses the Lycanroc? We have NDD, right? So we don't have to get Jet Punched, right? So that's the idea behind it. By having the Lycanroc, we are the ones forcing our opponent to do those things, regardless of if we use Lycanroc or not. That's the value in running Lycanroc in this situation. That's just my opinion. It's not even about... Lycanroc doesn't have to win to have that massive impact on the game. But back to picking our abilities. We want Flash Fire here. We want Own Tempo. Sorry, we don't. We want a Psychic Surge. We want Sand Rush here. And we want Sandstream here. So now that we have our abilities done, we can start filling in a little bit more moves. I don't know if I want to run Scarf here. We don't want to lock our items in yet. We're probably going to want Icy Wind, but I don't know if we need Icy Wind. Right? We could even put, like, Sleep Talk here to disincentivize Spores after they KO the Dozo, because that's, like, the worst feeling. Is when they hit you with that. So you just put, like, if we're going to Scarf it, we'd go, like, Sleep Talk. We might even leave it blank, you know? So, like, our set could be that. I know that sounds really weird, right? I know that sounds, like, really, really weird. Surf Dozo, we're not using Storm Drain Tatsu, we're using Commander. So, like, that could just be the set. If we would Scarf it. I know it sounds really weird, but, like, it's not as bad as it looks. How does this team fight Chi-Yu and Flutter? So, we have 100% good matchups. I have a question, first of all. When you say Chi-Yu Flutter, what Chi-Yus and which Flutter are we fighting against? Are we fighting against Sash? Are we fighting against Sash Chi-Yu, Scarf Chi-Yu, Specs Flutter, Booster Flutter? We have a one way. There's one thing this team can do that, like, holy moly, I don't know why people aren't doing it, but, like, we win. Tatsu get Storm Drain? It does, yeah. I have a Patreon team talking about it. But yeah, we have a couple different ways. For the standard Scarf Chi-Yu plus Specs Flutter, we have multiple different ways to win. All right, so you want to see how does this team beat Specs Flutter? I mean, could you wait till I explain it? I guarantee you I have like 10 ways to beat it, but like I guarantee we would be able to. So against that, you would just double protect first. I'll just tell you. Double protect first turn, break Sash. Turn 2, I'll give you guys the spoiler here. They're dead. We haven't even need to look like Adamant Calcs. Ah. 104. People don't use Iron Head on Lycanroc, and I don't know why. But they're dead. And you're like, but what if they change Tera? Well, okay, then they're not like every Flutter is flying. And if you want to be like some sort of weird other Flutter, then we could just Rock Slide your ass, you know? Or, you know, we could take Howl Off and put Close Combat on if we think they're gonna go steal Tera to stop the Iron Head, right? Yeah, so the Iron Head's pretty cracked there. Again, we haven't even had to use our Tera yet. We haven't had to use our item yet. See how this is just us having the option to win? Right? That's the idea. Told you you'd like it, yeah. Yep, that's why, yeah, Sandstorm's really good. And then so for T-Tar, we're probably also going to like low-key go Steel Tera. I think Steel Tera T-Tar is actually very good in this meta. First of all, you don't take the damn Sandstorm damage, right? Does the Specs Moonblast with Chew, Oko, T-Tar, even in Sand? Doesn't KO a Steel one, bro. But again, you see how they don't even get a chance to hit it, right? Do you almost always run Sash on Lycanroc? Yeah, you run Sash on the Lycanroc. I thought about running a different item, but I don't think you need to. When is Portland Regionals? Portland Regionals is next weekend. But yeah, so I'm thinking that these are the... I want to go Steel Tera T-Tar because I actually really think T-Tar is like super viable. And like if it's a Scarf Chi-Yu, there's a low-key shot that this locks them into like a fire attack. You know, like so we can switch in this or like this or like this or just like not Tera and just be a fucking T-Tar and be like, good job, bro. What are you going to do? Dark Pulse the T-Tar slot? No. You're going to Heat Wave it. I probably won't have time, actually. I won't have time. You're stuck in the venue for like 10 hours, and we don't even always get a lunch break. So, this is just a rough idea of what... And again, this sort of team, I want to state that these are just my ideas on paper before we get into games. I don't want to be that guy that says, this is broken and you all need to run it. But like, what I want you to understand is that there's so many different little things you can do through the use of like Teras, items, EVs, to give yourself situations where you could win if you want to think outside the box and solve for X and try and win those matchups. And it's in doing those little exercises that you actually understand how to win like a game 2 and a game 3 situation. A lot of Flutters are running a ton of bulk. That's the thing is like, you could run a lot of bulk on this Flutter, and you're still going to die because you took a Sandstorm chip. If you remember what I talked about before, you took a Sandstorm chip. That's a good amount of percentage health. So you still might die, and like, again, we hadn't even talked about it. Like, what if we just did that then? Plus that Sandstorm chip, you're dead, right? Don't even get me started on something like, bruh, nice bulk, bro. Your bulk D's, you know? And again, even if they lived, the thing about that is, like, we still have the Sash, right? And you don't kill the T-Tar. So there's counterplay. I know if I was someone that like was used to, and another thing is like, what this team does is if you're a team like that, like we're just talking about, that like excels at using that Flutter, and the team's like built around like a Specs Flutter being a cleanup piece, and it is now unusable, that's going to force you to have to not use that and find a different way to win. And by finding a different way to win, unless they're prepared for specific matchups, they're going to flounder a little bit, which lets you weave in turns to, you know, do what you need to succeed. It lets you weave in that trick room. Because, like, again, Flutter can still be the best fucking thing ever. And even if they have, like, you're like, what if they lead Tailwind Flutter? It's like, okay, well then in that game, if we see the Tailwind, we could just go into the Armourouge, and then it's like, we'll just suck a big one. You know, we go Redirection, Trick Room, bring out that T-Tar, and then now what do you do with your Specs Flutter? You know, so it's like, there's so many different things. Yeah, that I think like this, again, the whole point of a team like this is this puts us in the driver's seat dictating play, which is the whole point. What do you feel is like a bad match for this team? Palafin's still probably something I don't want to play against. How much speed is necessary on T-Tar? It's a good question. It's either going to be a lot or a little. But I feel like, I don't know if we want to run something like this yet. Yeah, because like, I feel, yeah, like this team is made to hold up better in a best of 3 as well. But yeah, I don't know what we want to run on this Tatsu. Let's start trying to find some items. I'm going to run Leftovers on my Tyranitar. I want to run Leftovers. I think it's a very good item. I think the hard part is finding Protect on T-Tar to get the Leftovers. I think it's good. I'm going to run Sash here. I would like to run a Rocky Helmet, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, the 2 item choices are Citrus Berry and Goggles. And I'm going to sit on the Goggles for now. Not only just make it so we don't take Sandstorm, but we are unaffected by the effects of Amoonguss. So we can I'm a huge fan of this, by the way. I love Pokemon that use Goggles for this reason. And the very specific reason. If you ever see what I put goggles on, it's almost always Pokemon like this. Yes, it's good on like Mouse Hold because you can redirect, and Unity works the same way. But putting goggles on something that swaps in, blocks the Spore, and then has a move that checks the Amoonguss back. Goldango can do it with its ability. Dragonite with Flying Tera, Gyarados with Flying Tera. Those are great goggles mons because they then just recheck the Amoonguss. And in both those situations, you know what the Amoonguss isn't using next turn? It's not using Spore on your teammate. It's either protecting, switching, or dying, right? And so all of those, again, are little things that let us dictate play because when we swap in and block that Spore, we do not have to follow through on using the Psychic or using a Follow Me. We can take that extra turn. See, that's, you know my name? That's a +1. That's literally what that means. That's a +1. Free turn to do whatever you want, right? So the whole game is about finding those little +1 turns and seeing what you can do with them and forcing your opponent to respect specific options because they don't just lose. Yeah, they could just still Spore my teammate, but they're not because we have Follow Me with goggles. We're threatening them with a Psychic, right? They're totally switching, protecting, Rage Powdering, doing something passive, and we have a free turn to do whatever we want. So, yeah, I think goggles is probably what we're going to do here. Have the orb. I want to do clear amulet here because we already are using our leftovers. But then, like, I could just put a different item and make this oblivious. Like, I don't think oblivious dozo's bad. I don't think oblivious dozo's bad. What do you guys think? Let me take a look at my phone real quick. Take a sip of coffee. This is just to avoid Intimidate. If you remember correctly, the day the game came out, I used Oblivious Dozo. And everyone was using Underwear Dozo when I lost, but I was like, no, this Oblivious Dozo is still good. Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question. So, obviously, you're the chief, right? Or the chef. But I'm curious how this team deals with stall teams since they seem to be on the rise. That's a great question. And the lame answer that you probably don't want to hear for how this team deals with stall is that stall teams do not exist once you get to like 2-0 or 3-0 or 4-0 in a tournament. Because they're just not consistent enough to be able to like have that game plan well into the tournament. There's a very, very big difference between the teams that are 3-1 and 4-0. There is a massive difference because only one type of team is at the 4-0 in almost every single situation. Motherfuckers act like they superior because they play best of 3, get off the burner account. I don't know what you mean. I don't think I'm superior. I'm just saying it how it is. But yeah. But yeah, so yeah, realistically, stall's a bad matchup, and we're taking a tactical attempt to say like, there's 800 people in the tournament. As long as I don't fight stall in the first 2 rounds, I'm probably going to be okay. And even if I did fight stall doesn't want to deal with like rock slide flinches. Stall doesn't want to deal with like trick rooming of trick rooms. Stall doesn't want to deal with like different defensive Teras. Like for example, there are 3 or 4 other different Teras I could go, and depending on the variant of stall, like Indeedee could be good. I can even go like a Grass Tera T-Tar if I think that's a bad matchup. Water Veil. Would you run Oblivious with Clear Amulet? No, you wouldn't run Clear Amulet with Oblivious. You would use one of them. We're going to use one of these. I don't know which one. Like, what item would we go if we went Oblivious then? What would you use? Is this Steel Dozo? This is probably going to be Grass Dozo, is what I'm thinking. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm thinking this is going to be Terra Blast. And we're going to have an EV spread that outspeeds Palafin, so we can one-shot Palafin and never comes on the board to Haze. Does Unaware ignore booster energy as well? That's a good question. I don't think that it does, though. But, like, booster energies very rarely boost the defensive stats. Doesn't. There you go. So, what item would we put here if we were to go Oblivious? Because, like, what do we need? Can you make weakness policy work? I mean, I guess, but, like, it's really not worth it in this exact team. Lum. So, like, what are we lumming? That's a great question. Like, what would we lum? The first answer would be Spore, right? Which we can redirect with entities 4 does on the board. We have Grass Tera, so we don't need to lum that. And then, like, Will-O-Wisp. Well, realistically, we can just one-shot the Arcanine. So it's like, or force a Tera, and, like, realistically just kill their teammate, or do, like, enough damage to them so it doesn't matter. So it's like, AV. Oh, dude. Because, like, I'm not gonna lie. Bro, that's sick. That's fucking clean, bro. Ooh. Dude, I'm not mad at that. That is smooth. Dude, that fucking works, bro. Ooh. This is why we do this live. Get the good ideas out here. Yeah, unaware. I don't think you need unaware. Like, what are you going through? You know, like, that's the thing is, like, I don't want to fight. I don't bring Dozo to the mirror, right? So it's like, I shouldn't need the unaware. What Tatsu form? We're gonna go attack boost. Yeah. Because we don't have lefties or, like, rest talk to make the defensive one work. And I don't think we actually want the speed Tatsu. Not for this one. I think the attack Tatsu is good because you force them to switch in, and I guarantee you, if I play Oblivious Dozo, there will be at least 3 chances in that tournament where they will bring that Arcanine and they will intimidate, and then they'll be like, "Oh fuck," and then they're gonna have to panic Tera, and then if we waste their Grass Tera and we take out their Arcanine and maybe even just a little bit of chip on something else, that's so good. You want to ignore their offensive boost. What offensive boosts do they have? It's a good question. Like, what in the meta gets an offensive boost that I need to ignore? What's set up on Dozo that you don't threaten Roaring Gambit, D-Knight? What do you mean? You could threaten all of those. Yeah, I think Dozo's really good. But yeah, like, what stat? Because, like, people use Ruin Mons to shred defense, but they're not using, like, +1s anymore. Specifically Howl matchup? I don't think it does anything, though. Is Hydreigon meta? It's not. SD Iron Hands? Chi-Yu Nasty Plot? The thing is, like, those don't exist. Those don't exist at, like, 2030. Those don't exist. I'll show you. Actually, I'm gonna get the real stats up. And we'll show you. Because you could theorycraft all day about things that could beat it, but the real world says that those don't exist. Yeah, and also, those are setup moves that take your turns. Where you get these turns? Who's giving you all these turns to use Swords Dance? It ain't me. I'm killing your ass. Alright, I'm logging on Pokemon Home, and we're going to see what the % chance of Nasty Plot Chi-Yu is. Versus the Sand team. They can just click Rock Slide twice and it's dead. Ranked battles. Set it to doubles. Pokemon ranking. So Chi-Yu is at rank 6. And it's common moves. Nasty Plot is a 5.3% chance usage on a Pokemon like Chi-Yu. So Nasty Plot would be on a set that would have... So it's not even just Nasty Plot, right? It has to be like Nasty Plot, Protect, Dark Pulse, Heat Wave. So Dark Pulse and Heat Wave are both 93s and 90s respectively, and Protect's a 47. So it has to be a 5.3% chance on another situation where they also have Protect, because, like, why wouldn't they? And so it's actually like a 2% chance on, like, a Mon that's also not even... It shouldn't even come to the matchup. Let's check Hands. Hands is rank 11. And Swords Dance is a 12.6. So that's a possibility of happening. It's literally like twice the % chance of happening. But in those situations, would someone bring an Iron Hands to fight, like, Entity Armarouge? And even if they brought those things, is that even good versus Dozo? Because, like, even if they had the right teammate, literally just quick Earthquake into his ass, you know? How Arcanine? It's not viable, you know? How Screamtail? I guess, but like, I don't think that those are meta enough. So, I think we're gonna do this. And then we're definitely gonna Scarf this guy, but I don't know what I want as these last couple moves. I don't know what I want. Icy Wind's sometimes good, but you don't need Icy Wind to enable these things that much. It's so obvious, you know? How fast does Tatsu get? Tatsu's 82, right? If we can get Tatsu to outspeed Flutter, I would take that. Does. Okay. So like a Steel Tera Tatsu? Can you like Tera Blast it? Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's so many other moves that we could run here. Encore Disable Screamtail sounds like a job for Indies. Because we have a Sash. How much of a flex would it be to put like Scarf Baton Pass here? To like see their moves, see if they go for any switches, and then decide to Baton Pass in? To like the Lycanroc or the T-Tar? That'd be kind of funny. Everyone's talking about Nasty Plot Chi. What about Nasty Plot Tatsu, bro? Yeah, I don't know what I want to use on this last spot for. Because, like, I feel like checking Flutters is going to be 100% like the play here. Trying to think of what else Tatsu brings to the table. One Shinomon run substitute? That's complicated. If they have enough pressure to threaten other defensive options. Yeah, Tatsu's basically like a little Hydreigon, yeah. I mean, the right play here is like... I think something like that's not bad. I know it's Scarf Taunt, but like... I think Scarf Taunt is sometimes viable. Because Tatsu's the type of mon that just swaps anyways. Or it like goes inside the dozo. So like what I could do is like if I were to have a board state where I lead like Tatsu T-Tar or Tatsu Indeedee or Tatsu like Lycanroc, I can go turn one like Taunt something stupid and just like attack. So like for example, on board states where they want to lead like Flutter and their setup mon, I can go like Iron Head the Flutter, taunt your setup mon, and it's like, okay, well that's game, you know? Like I can, you know what I mean? I feel like this being able to like taunt Arcanines all game could actually be really viable. There's definitely like some other move that can go there. You could also just like not go Scarf, but I feel like it's throwing to not go Scarf here. Hyper Beam's somewhat viable. Hyper Beam's a lot of damage. Don't really need Memento. Don't really need Chilling Water either. Memento? I don't think so. I don't think there is ever a situation where Memento. That maybe, but like I don't think there is. Soak. Soak. It's a unique one, right? I'm thinking about the soak. I'm thinking about it. There's no room for Zoroark here. Too much of the same weaknesses. Soak is almost, there's almost something there. Soak's just cool. There's sometimes it's Scarf Tatsu, so like why not, you know? I don't think that's the thing is like you say no Icy Wind for speed control. I feel like yeah, it's just Icy Wind, but like the thing is we don't necessarily need speed control because we don't have speed control. The only value I can see in Icy Wind is we can Icy if I were to lead Lycanroc Tatsu, we can Icy Wind to break Sash on Sash Bundle and Sash Flutter and then like Rock Slide or Iron Head to finish off. Now, I think that Choice Scarf is the right play. Choice Scarf's definitely what I want to do. So I like this. All right, so we have some stuff figured out. Let's fill out the rest of these moves. I'm going to put Energy Ball here. If I can spell. I'm going to put Psychic. And Dazzle. And I'm going to sit on this Howl, but I really think that like Close Combat is good. I do think Close Combat's good. Well, let's just use it then. Fuck it. I ain't doing anything else today. Close Combat's good. And this is the thing for T-Tar. Do you know how badly I want a Dragon Dance? Oh, that's so bad. Heavy Slam's somewhat cool. Iron Defense, bro. Stealth Rock, bro. Taunt, bro. Oh, God. Is that, like, actually cracked? It's almost good. It's almost good. We're not fast enough to make it work, but it's, like, it's legit getting close. Snarl's good. People sleep on Payback as an option a lot of the time. It's not bad. Assurance is what most people go here, but like we don't have to do what most people do. We can do whatever we want. Hell, we can even create a board state where we do something like, and then make this like a weakness policy with like weak armor. Now, I don't think that, like, we go Iron Head. We don't need the Iron Head. If anything, T-Tar would go Heavy Slam, right? T-Tar would use Heavy Slam if it were to use that sort of move. I think there's nothing wrong with Thunder Wave here. I like Thunder Wave on T-Tar, but I don't think it holds up in... Ooh. We talked about Steel Tera, but, like, is this good? It makes me slower in TR. So related to my previous question, how do you expand your sense to seeing what unconventional duos play out? I don't know what you mean. Like, how do I think? I'm not trying to meme. I'm not trying to make fun of the question. How do I take a core and expand upon it? Low kick's okay. I think the low kick's probably what you should lead. I'm going to run some low kick calcs. I want to see low kick versus like King Gambit. That's what I'm like kind of worried about. So like that seems like it does too much. Right? Does that seem like it does too much? We're probably still going to be adamant. $164. So yeah, to answer your own question then. So you said, well, I see the potential of like Tatsu Lycanroc and all these other things. It's like, it's sort of just like that. So I've talked about this before. There's I think that it's free to view on my Patreon. On my Patreon, you're a part of the Patreon, so you can check it out. There's a post that's like 2 years old where I break down how this works. What you need to do is get a notebook out, right? And you write down every single possible good thing you can think of about every single lead combination that you have. For example, you might want to lead T-Tar Lycanroc, but after you understand the value of T-Tar Lycanroc, you don't need to practice 1,000 games of T-Tar Lycanroc to know what it does, right? In reality, what you want to try doing is seeing what you could get out of leading T-Tar Armarouge or T-Tar Indeedee or T-Tar Dozo. Write down every single positive and negative thing about those cores. And for when they're positives, you need to think about what you need to bring in the back to solidify those wins against XYZ matchups. And in the negatives, you need to think about what Pokemon do I need to bring in the back once this lead doesn't work, but what does this lead condition my opponent into doing? Does this lead, if I were to lead T-Tar Armarouge, right, does that make them over-respect a certain option? Because if I had T-Tar Armarouge as the lead, what that would be telling my opponent is that I want to go protect Trick Room. So that would, and especially because this Armarouge does not have Protect, they would double into the Armarouge. If they're going to double into the Armarouge, that might make it so a T-Tar that had something like a Dragonance here, or even like another set-up move like a Curse, could actually not waste the time protecting, could not waste the time doing that. I could hard switch out Armarouge for another Pokemon that could potentially have a type to block whatever moves I think are going to be coming into double into that slot and get a free turn with my T-Tar, right? And those are things that you wouldn't think about unless you've taken the time to actually flow chart them out and come up with the hypothetical situations where you're playing at disadvantage. So to answer your question of how I know how to do that, I just do it. Like I force myself to have to come up with good and bad things about every single lead that I have. I send this post, I don't know where it is. There's like literally 500 or 600 posts on Patreon, but I think it's like titled I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. I can't send it, but it's up there somewhere. If you scroll back far enough, you'll find it. So yeah, that's not very helpful, but yeah, what's its name? I don't even remember. But it tells you how to do like everything to prepare for a tournament for like a best of 3 setting. And it's stuff that I follow. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even done it in like 2 years because it takes like a whole month's worth of work. It's like a whole flowchart plan for like, there is also a YouTube video explaining it. You're right, there is a YouTube video that goes over what's in it. But like, it's one of those things that it takes like a month's worth of work. You have to spend like 2 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day for about a month to actually make it work. Yo, Waddle, how goes it? Working at this team here. But it's a lot of work. And so I'm probably not going to put in that work for this tournament. But it tells you the right things to work on in an order that you can just follow these things. And like in doing so, what you're going to be doing is putting yourself in a proactive position where you're the one dictating play. And you've also like forced yourself to theory craft for games 2 and game 3. It's pretty good. It's pretty insightful because the people that win these sort of tournaments are not the people that have the best team. It's not even the people that are the best players. It's the players that are most prepared. And it's forcing you to cover up for matchups where you play in disadvantage. So when you get your ass handed to you game 1, you know exactly what to do. Because what a lot of people's biggest mistake is in Pokemon, especially in going to like regionals and stuff like this, is they really, really know how to win. They know how to play when they're winning, but when they're not winning, they have no clue what to do, and then they kind of just lose. And they're like, "Oh, it's a bad matchup," and that's not how it's supposed to go. That works on ladder, but that's not a good mentality for regionals because in regionals, if you ask game 1, you don't have to do the same thing again. In a best of 1 closed team sheet on ladder, well, yeah, if it's a bad matchup, there's probably not a way to win that one. But if you can see their open team sheet, it's a best of 3. You know you can play a whole first game to see any sort of other EV discrepancies they might have. You can 100% like make the changes you need to make to like not lose the same exact way again. And so you need to force yourself to understand what it's like to play in a disadvantageous state. And I'm not going to say like dangle a carrot on the string, but that little lead that I talked about leading like Tyranitar Armarouge, it forces your opponent to over-respect the Armarouge because the Armarouge is my only way of winning. If I were to go protect T-Tar and go Trick Room with the Armarouge, I'd get my speed control up and I'd be able to have an advantageous board state. But if I were to make the perfect play and go protect or like do something with T-Tar, hard switch out Armarouge, I'm not even still technically winning yet. I'm just delaying my losses and taking small little incremental advantages. And it's those little advantages that stack up turn by turn that if we flowchart them and plan them out correctly, we can come out on top, and even in an unwinnable matchup. You've heard me talk about that before a lot of times on stream, where I say like, this game's unwinnable, and I have to make the exact right play for like 10 turns in a row to barely win. But those things are possible, and it's those little options that little exercise forces you to work on. And it's just being comfortable working on those things that is the difference in, you know, making day 2 of these events and doing well in them. There's the video. Dude, did someone link it? Is this the video? Let's link it. I don't think that's the video. I'm not going to watch this ad either because, like, YouTube sucks. I don't think that's the video. It's not like top 5 tips. I don't think. Actually, there's a lot of rules around YouTube. You're not supposed to, like, watch your own videos either. Like, you're not supposed to. Because, like, YouTube, like, thinks you're trying to cheat the system. Let's have fun. Yeah, that's the idea. Dude, I'm never going to finish this team. We've already been live here for like an hour and a half, and I am just not working on this team. We're looking at low kick calcs. That's a lot of investment for low kick. So I don't think that I even want to do that. Because, like, I don't even want a T-Tar that's, like, strong. I don't think I need one. I think I want T-Tar to have more of, like... I know this is going to sound, like, super cringe, but, like, hear me out. What if we just did, like... Not Dragon Claw. You know what I'm going for. Like, is that bad? Am I bad? Is this bad? It might be bad. Nice Palafin. Nice Arcanine, bro. I love Stealth-Rock in VGC. T-Bolt? Nah, it's open team sheet. I don't think it would work. Open team sheet, you can't work with T-Bolt. Or can you? I really want Rock Slide. But, like, this is gonna sound... Oh, dude, do we actually go deep? Let's run T-Bolt calcs. Let's run T-Bolt calcs. And let's make ourselves like a speed reduced nature. So, like, let's go on Gyarados. You've piqued my interest. That doesn't do shit, bro. Dude, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't do shit. That's so much investment. Bro, that doesn't do... Am I calculating this wrong? Why doesn't that do anything? I feel like that should just KO the shit out of it. Why doesn't... Did I do something wrong? Thunder Punch. Does it get Thunder Punch? Well, we're intimidated if they Thunder Punch us. If we Thunder Punch it. It does. But we're going to be at -1 versus the Gyarados, so it's weak. It's a 2-shot? That's so much investment, though. Yeah, Gyarados weak to rock, so like we don't need the Thunderbolt for that. That's cool, but I don't think it's worth it. It's a 2-shot on the Palafin. It's too reactive though. It is. But yeah, I was thinking like Mix Sweeper T-Tar with like duo. What if we had like... Dude, that doesn't even seem bad. It doesn't even seem bad. I'm also thinking, like, what do we do versus Glimmora? I don't like Glimmora here. Thorns? No room for thorns. You obviously go into the Arm Rouge, but it's hard. So let's do the Glimmora. No, you can't hit with a fighting. You can't hit with a physical move, right? They would just tear away, or they're probably gonna be like full. Yeah. But there's so many cool moves that T-Tar gets. I'm not. Something like this is pretty good. The problem is, like, if we still don't have that Steel Tera, we still get bodied by Sacred Sword Shenpao. So then we would have to pick a type that doesn't necessarily lose the Shenpao. And, like, that's fire. This also makes us immune to Arcanine. You think Helping Hand T-Tar? I don't like Helping Hand T-Tar. I like this play. I'm going to try this. Alright, set these Teras. Try the fire. What Tera is best for Indity? See, it's still weak to Tinglu. One, we just don't Tera away, right? We were still weak to Tinglu when we were Steel Tera too. We just one Iron Defense and we're probably fine. What Tera is best for Indity? You don't need Grass because we have Goggles. Poison's okay here, actually. Flying is somewhat viable. You're talking about Fairy Tera double dip? Nah, we're gonna still have to go really defensive on this thing. What Tera do we want to go on Indity? I think Ghost is what we should probably pick. So, yeah, I think it's Ghost as well. Ghost is there to stop Mouse, if that's a thing. It also, like, is a mix-up with Annihilate, so I don't hate it. This guy goes Grass. Grass, Grass, Steel. Cool. So we have all of our moves, all of our items, all of our Teras done. It's not for stopping Fake Out. It's an Indity. Alright, so let's get some of these EVs done. Let's see. So I think a lot of people think your EVs need to be something that's like crazy tech right when you come up with them. I don't think that's the case. I don't think your EVs need to be like really good when you first, because the Mons and their base stats are going to do most of the heavy lifting. So like, for example, you could actually run this without EVs and still probably get like a lot of value out of it. Like, fuck it. Watch. No EVs. You don't need them. Ah, it's okay. It will not let me pick? Dude, it's not a mistake, bro. Let me play. Add one EV. Bro. Fine. Fine. I'll add one EV. To show it's not a mistake. Showdown won't let me reinvent the meta. Okay, that team's weird. Let's see if they accept. But like realistically, I think we should just be able to get up Trick Room, blow them out, and then like T-Tar Lycanroc in the back could potentially work, because we also have the Trick Room up to be able to stop like Aqua Jets and like Sableye. So I still think like these guys are really good here. We also like lead T-Tar as well. I'll try Indeedee, Armarouge, T-Tar Lycanroc. Let's try it. Let's make this a little bit bigger for you guys. Whoa. Too big. Did I make it like too big? Did I break it? It's fine. All right. We have safety goggles here. Don't need a Trick Room yet. Another thing as well is like if their last two mons are slow as shit, we just don't need a Trick Room. So like, you know what? We can actually just do this. Sash Brokens. So it just goes to show you don't need EVs to like win games. 90% of the work that you do is going to be built off of doing other stuff. Is built off correct items, correct Teras, correct movesets. So I think a lot of people think your EVs need to be like crazy cracked and busted and you need perfect IVs and like all that shit. And like you really, truly just don't. You just don't. We didn't even lose them on. How do you add custom background to Showdown? It's complicated. It's not. You go up in here and mess with the stuff in the settings and stuff like that. How do I get rid of this? Yeah, see, like you don't actually need, EVs to win. So, that being said, what you should be doing when you're building your first EV spreads for a team is making EVs that just kind of work. So for this T-Tar, if we know that we're going to be using Iron Defense, we don't need to put a lot into that investment. You can still put a Nature in there if you want, but like realistically, a T-Tar that's kind of just built like this. Like, that T-Tar kind of just slaps. Fuck it. There. That's the T-Tar set. Let's press the button. Let's give ourselves Jolly for now. Indeedee. What do we want to eat with Indeedee? Definitely still go full HP. Do we want to eat like a mixture of physical or special? Like what special attacks are we going to be eating on this thing? There is it like, there's a place where you double dip your Spadef boost if you go Spadef. Is it like 196? Let's find out where it is. So you see a 165 on the right. It's going to go down to like a certain number. 63. Cool, it's right here. So this gets us this double dip. We basically get investment compiled with our nature boost. So we get 2 points instead of 1 if we go this far into it, and you still get 60 over here. We're going to cut this up, though, into like a 5244. Okay, Armarouge. We want to end this, whatever it is, with a 9, so we take less from Orb. So take this back just a little bit more, 228. Into, I don't know if I actually want investment on the Armarouge. But let's say no for now. Just leave that like that. Dozo needs to be able to outspeed Palafin. So we need to be able to outspeed base 100s, which are 167 at +2. So you only need to get to right there, 228. Okay. Cool. There. All right, EV should be good. Awesome. Let's go play some games. Can we see the rest of stuff on YouTube? I don't think I'm going to put this on YouTube. But we just goofed around too much today. I don't think this will be on YouTube. This is a Twitch only. All right. Let's see if they accept. That being said, Murko's going to be coming because we have Dozo, right? So we already know for a fact this team is conditioning them to bring Murko, so we need to bring things that punish Murko, kind of like a Sand Squad. And if they wanted to go like Murko Pult or Murko Flutter, I think we're still like low-key fine versus that, because then they can go Tailwind and do all that stuff, and then we just win with like Trick Room in the back. Or even Dozo in the back after it depends on if they bring the Murko on the lead or not. Because we also don't need, like, Dozo is still good versus these guys. Even if you haze me, it's still good. Let's try it. Let's go T-Tar, Lycanroc, and then Dozo, Tatsu. I think Trick Room's still very, very good here. I don't like open team sheet, but it's fine, you know. Like, you know, I don't have to like it for me to see the benefits that it gives. There's a Murko. Cool. So what do we want to do? Remember when we talked about how this team works? We want to use the start of the game to deal with the shit that checks us in the back. So we got double intimidated. Like, that totally sucks. Like, I get it. I still think a double rock slide would take out the Murkrow. Okay. Yeah, they're just swapping out. So they also have to stop a potential double, like a flinch chance. There's the flinch. I told you, like, that's literally like why we used it, right? So we can swap around, do a bunch of cool stuff over here. They take Sandstorm Chip over there. We have close combat here. That probably does KO. But let's go for an Iron Defense Protect for this turn. I want to see if this works. Raging Bull block. We take those. Iron Defense. We outspeed the King Gambit. Yo, yo, yo. Copies it. Mirror. Boo. Dude, that sucks, bro. It's all right. Yeah, I wouldn't have done that if I saw open team sheet. We can body press there. Get that KO. Hard switch out this slot for... They're going to Raging Bull, so we'll still just swap in Dozo. And come back out unintimidated. Raging Bull, we don't care. Yeet! Got a crit, didn't need it. They're going to bring the Murkrow out. We're going to swap back in. And we're just going to start dumpstering that guy over there. I might even Iron Defense again. I might. Pult, cool! Huh, that's not what I expected. Wisp? Weird play. Dude, they just swapped out their good Pokemon. That ended just scoop. They got nothing. Yep. So we forced them into like a lot of situations where we were the one that dictated all the play, and we forced them to have to make like big reads. And we just played really standard and just won. So, sick. Yep, they thought we were going to swip around, and we didn't. T-Tar was unbeatable at that point. Cool. Ugh. Cool, this is that team. Show me the team sheet, bro. I'll try T-Tar Lycanroc versus this. And I think one thing that we're going to need to definitely flowchart and work on is like the Glimmora matchup. I think Glimmora is a lot more problematic. We're probably going to have to add a Poison Tera somewhere. It might have to be on Tatsu. I don't really like that. Maybe Poison. T-Tar could also go Poison. And like, that's actually probably a good idea. Poison Tera T-Tar. Right? And then you hit them. But they don't have anything to swap to. These guys all take the damage. So like we have to go Poison Tera, not hit the Glimmora, swap out, then hit the Glimmora, swap back in. It's actually really hard. Yeah, the order up on the Oblivious Dozo is actually kind of cracked too. All right, so they're not going to share. So we're going to go those. And then I think we're going to try these because we don't have the Underwear Dozo, right? So we have to just play this like this. I don't see an issue with double Rock Slide. I want to see if they Tera. There it is. Yep. Yep. You see, like, that's pretty cracked. We can swap in Armourouge there. Let's think about what I want to do. Rock Slide here is still really good. Close Combat's still really good. Iron Head's still really good. Poison Tera Armourouge. No, I don't know about that. Yep. Got it. Yeah, cool. Alright, so that Chi was the thing that was stopping us from winning with Armourouge. Oh, dude, I got a really good idea. Yo, thank you for the sub. We'll tell the idea after this. Donnie dropping the sub. Yo, how you been, buddy? Oh, man. Appreciate it. Let's see. So it means we know they have Dozo? I'm fine playing passive here. Yeah, that's what I expected. And then they're going to try and weave in, like, damage. Like, Tito doesn't really care. Yeah, even if you hit, like, we're heavy, we're full HP Spadef. So, yeah, that's a good play. And now... I kind of want to Iron Head that slot, because it would just KO. Sorry, close combat. Sorry. Body press that same slot, and we close combat into it. Because, like, if you just stay... Oh, my... Why are you... Wait, I'm an idiot. I'm bad. I'm so sorry. I could have just Iron Headed and won the game. I'm bad. It's okay. It's okay. I woke up and chose being terrible at the game. I'm so bad. It's alright. That's what I get for not paying attention. Yeah, I don't know, but I got the KO there. I don't know why I thought close combat would be better. I, for some reason, thought they were going to, like, terrestrialize, but they already did, you know, so it's fine. Wow, they're just letting this Tatsu, like, low-key take all the damage. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Dude, if I just took out that Tatsu still, holy shit, dude, we still could have won. Like, I have to assume they have Dozo back there. I don't know why they left this Tatsu on the board for like 10 turns without it. Oh my god, they didn't bring it. Yo, where is it? Angry little dog outside. Alright, Expanding Force KO's there. It's fine. No, why would you bring the Tatsu then? This probably KOs, right? Double dip both these, Psychic Terrain boost. Single target. Yeah, they brought the Tatsu out to like threaten Dozo swap, and I just didn't. I respected it enough, but yeah. Glimmora could be a hard matchup. The thing I was thinking about though, like, what if I? This is gonna sound really weird, but like, what if I let the toxic spikes go up, right? So the obvious plan here would be like, you go T-Taro, Lycanroc, you're doing all your things, and you get up the double layer of toxic spikes on you. You hard switch in Tatsu, let his ass get toxic. 100%. This bro's toxic. He's gonna go down for the count. You got it. Yeah, you rapid spin the Tatsu, bro. And then, like, you guys, all you gotta do is bring the Dozo before it's gone. So the issue is like, how could we make that work? I feel like there has to be a better way of doing this though. Because like this feels super clunky now. Because we still want to get the dozo boost. That's the thing. You still want to get the dozo boost. I'll keep it in the back burner. It's just an idea. All right. Another Glimmora. Yeah, Glimmora seems to be like an issue, I would say. But it's not something we can't get rid of. It just sucks when, you know, they get up all that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if this was an Imprison Fardrath. They rejected open team sheets. What a villain. Okay. So there's multiple dark types. So we probably don't want Entity Armors against it, which means it's probably good Dozo Tatsu here. Let's try that. If they go Poison Tera, Armor crushes it, right? So that's the thing. If they go Poison Tera to block close combat, it's just probably Armor City over there. And they can't just let that happen. Like, we also have like Dozo in the back and stuff like that too. Protect, cool. Big damage, any flinchers? Nope, low kick. Oh, that hurt. That's what we get, the closed team sheet villain. That hurt, man. I mean, I wouldn't have done that, you know? Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Remember, they rejected, so it's like, what are we supposed to do, you know? Okay. So they should be able to see that we're scarfed. Cool. Mortal Spin. Okay. Oh, God, dude. You just got Venoshocked in the face, bro. Foul play. Wow. That's a cool set. That's a cool set. Okay. That's why I did it. Let's see what they have in the back. Yeah, so Wo-Chen was problematic there. Glimmora was harder to deal with than I wanted it to be. But, like, did my best. I think that they just cheesed us with the low kick. Like, that was the thing. The low kick was, like, really, really big cheese. Cool. Crit happen would be nice here. Crit would be nice. Crit would be nice. Damn. Flinch. Damn. They have accuracy drops. They got potential to get flinched. Like, you see, like, it wasn't over, but like, if that crit and they had to send that guy back out, we could have just flinched him out the rest of the game. So like, we actually still had like shots to win that game. We still had shots through all of that. And then they crit us with an earth power. That's the thing that's dumb. Alright, so we need a better Glimmora answer. So if I wanted to use a better Glimmora answer, what would that look like? Because, like, I don't like the Terastalize a Poisonmon, swap it out, and then bring it back in. That's just like, But I think that's our only out. It has to be. Don't like that, but I think that's probably just what it has to be. No. It does. So removing poison on one of your mons, I don't think like solves the problem. It delays it. This is fine though. Let's see. What do we want to do into this? They have an Intimidator on that Gyarados. I low-key think Dozo could actually be a really good lead here, but they're gonna go something there. So we want to bring Dozo in the back. So that being said, we want to lead with our most aggressive options early. Just bring these guys in the back, and then in a game 2 situation, I'd probably lead Dozo, and then bring into the Armouge in the back. Cool, so we'll let them get their value Intimidates. If I go protect here, that could be very bad. If I go protect here, that could be very good. Cool, good play for me. Oh, just missed on both. Dude, I'm so cracked at Pokemon. Imagine if I was cracked at Pokemon, guys. Can you believe it? Holy moly. That sucks. Double miss Rock Slide. That's what I figured. It's okay. It's fine. It's lame though, like, I feel like more people should do open team sheet sharing, man. Cry every time. Yeah, just gonna be game. It's so hard to, like, play around some of this shit when, like, you know, that turn was a double miss Rock Slide into a closed team sheet. There's no way to prepare for everything when you can't see it, you know? If that was a standard hands, we were fine. I wouldn't have went for that defensive of a play versus... I wouldn't even have went for Rock Slide on turn 1 against SD hands. Like, because then it was an obvious swap out into it, but like vested hands, it was fine. This guy doesn't have Intimidate, so like realistically, Dozo could be a very good lead. Into the Armouge is a great lead here. There's Dark there, but like we're great versus those two in the back. I think that like Dozo Tatsu is probably pretty good. You just KO there, KO there. I don't think you need T-Tar here. Just try it. Fuck it. No one wants to share team sheet, but it's fine. Let's deal. So beat up there. I thought I clicked something else. This was supposed to be Tatsu, not Tyranitar. Fuck, dude. Fuck, dude. Well, that's just game. I thought this was Tatsu. And we were just that killed the fucking mousehold. God damn it. Yep, I can't stop that, so. Yep, that was just... I brought the wrong mons. I thought I brought Tatsu. Whoops. Oh yeah, we're just playing on a fresh account right now. Alright, so this is fine. Rejected open team sheets. No big deal. Against Rain, though, I think this is definitely something worth testing around. So, against Rain, I like... I actually don't dislike, like, these two. First Rain, and then, like, this in the back. I don't think we want to bring our Dozo Tatsu here. But I'm already finding, like, a lot of situations where I don't like not having Unaware. So, like, we might want to put the Clear Amulet back on. That's the thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with people denying team sheets either, you know? Cool, this is great. So this stops Palfin from being able to Jet Punch all game, so it has to function its base speed tier. We don't necessarily need to Trick Room here either. We don't know if their last two mons are like Dozo Tatsu. I actually think like hard switching into a Dozo is actually kind of cracked here. And then like even after the Dozo Tatsu pops off, you have like Palfin in the back. It's actually kind of cool. Let's see if they U-turn. Protect, cool, works for me. Tailwind, totally works for me. Yeet. Cool, no more rain, ever again. And that's one of the reasons why we don't have the Psychic Seeds on Entity here, is because like I feel like we swap it out too much. There's the Dozo. Yeah, they actually had Dozo. Wow. That's like low-key fun, I think. Let's see if they Tera. Cool. Good to see. Great damage. Any flinchers? Nope. Dude, I've missed so many moves, bro. That sucks. 43%. Alright, so we have to do this. Come on, T-Tar. Mess him up, buddy. Come on. Yep. I don't know how I feel about having the body press set. I feel like it's getting me into more trouble than I want. It's the last turn of Trick Room. Sorry, 2 turns of Trick Room, 1 turn of Psychic Drain. So we can just go Expanding Force here and just Rock Slide. Show me that Jet Punch, buddy. Show it to me. Show it to me. Oh, there's a train on the board. Sorry. Sorry. And we take those. That's a cool team. So yeah, I think this team is on the right track. Just about a week before the event, so probably gonna call it there. Hopefully you guys liked this little stream where we messed around. Thank you guys for helping me at the sub goal. Let me go with my gut. If you have any options on what you guys think might be better, you can always hit me up on Discord. Utilizing Iron Defense as much as you'd like. So the issue with Iron Defense, we haven't actually gone into an open team sheet game, but I want them to see that they should hit the T-Tar so I can use Protect, right? Because if I just had like 3 moves, like let's say this T-Tar had assurance and like low kick, they'd be like, okay, well, I could just intimidate the T-Tar and ignore it. No, I want to have a T-Tar that you cannot ignore, so you have to over-respect it so I can actually utilize my protect for protect baits. That's what I want, right? So that's what I thought about when I thought about the Iron Defense, right? And also, I think it's good in situations that are good, right? So I've not seen any other versions of this team. As far as I know, this is the first time I've seen this. So I'm not saying it hasn't been done before, but like I feel like we have different, I'm sure that we have different takes. I don't think anyone's used Iron Head. No, Show doesn't have anything like that. So we'll call it right here. But thank you guys for stopping by the stream. Again, you guys can check out the Discord here. And you don't have to, no one has to join because it's like the last day of the month. Because like, don't join Patreon the last day of the month, otherwise you get double charged. But starting next month on Patreon, we're gonna be doing a bunch of cool stuff. And we're gonna be doing like once a week on Patreon, even in the lowest tier. What we're gonna be doing on Discord is getting together in a call, like a group coaching session, where basically I fix everyone's teams one at a time for like a couple hours. You can do that on Wednesday. Do that like once a week. So if you want like quick answers on like, here's my team, what would you fix? Take a look at these EVs, give me back a fixed version within like 20 minutes, and we help everyone learn together in a really cool session. That's gonna go up on it's gonna be like once a week on Patreon. Spot will be here on Twitch. Yeah, it will. We went over a bunch of stuff. I might upload it to YouTube. I just don't know because we got so off topic so many times. But team's cool. I think it's good. So still worth a shot. Still messing around with some things. But I think we have options. And yeah, peace out. I'll see you guys next time.